Hi everyone. Welcome back to another awesome episode of Bandwidth and Banter. Oh my goodness. I think we're on episode 76 now. Isn't that amazing, Druid?
Yes. Amazing. Truly.
Speaking of amazing, Cleanse and Rain last week was just, he's such a warm and talented individual. I love all of the voices that he does. He's a great voice actor and exactly the kind of people we like to highlight. But man, speaking of exactly the kind of people we want to highlight, I've been blasting it out to everybody all week. I can't wait. I'm so excited because we have somebody I'm a big fan of for multiple different reasons. He's an incredibly talented and successful streamer and exactly the kind of positive, wonderful person that we like to highlight. And his name is NerdyNortherner, and let's have him on the show right now.
Let's go.
There he is. Hello. Look at that, King Jake.
I was like shield wall, but can't find your emotes.
Jake,
they're around. I saw a few of them that are never tilted coming in with the booty emote.
Jake, can you do us a favor real quick and reintroduce yourself and share a highlight of your about your stream that's important to you?
Well, for those of you who don't know me, I'm the High King Jake, the NerdyNortherner. I lead the Nord Fam, so the Nord Family stream team. I founded it. The Nord Family is my community, and I say that's the highlight. Honestly, I say it all the time. It's like the community is why I do what I do, and it's my favorite thing about it. I wake up every day, excited to get on and see all my friends, be able to hang out with them all day. And that's the highlight there. It's just the community, just the Nord fam, because Nord fam's best fam, right? Nord fam best fam. That's
Nord
right,
fam,
Lavender.
best fam, right there.
Best fam. That's it.
Yes, I am grateful to count myself as a part of your Nord fam. I'm super grateful to. I believe it was a bite-sized Mike that introduced us to Nerdy.
100%. 100%. He suggested NerdyNortherner, and then I immediately hopped on over there, and I'm like, okay, let's go.
Right.
I found my other favorite place to be on Twitch. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I have been obsessed ever since.
Ditto. Yep. Awesome. All right. Well, this is our opportunity to get to know this amazing man a little bit better. And so let's kick off this interview, starting with you, Druid.
Hi, King Jake. Please share a boring fact about yourself.
Oh, geez, a boring fact. Oh, Lord. Well, geez, okay. A boring fact. Not really no boring fact on top of my head here.
I know. The pressure.
It's a tough one. It's okay.
Right, the pressure. A boring fact. I'm trying to look around, see what was. I don't know. A boring fact. I'm stumped on that. You have to give me a few minutes to think about that one. I mean,
no problem. We'll let you come back to that. We'll revisit it at the end if that works for you. We totally get that's a stumper. Sorry.
I watch a lot of shows. I don't know. Is that boring? I don't know.
I binge watch court cases. It's boring to a lot of people.
Okay. I like historical documentaries. I will sit there and watch historical documentaries like it's like a piece of pizza, like just mound down at it, no problem. I will dive right into it. World War II history down. Egyptian history, I'm down. Roman, Greek history, let's kiss, and of course Viking history there as well. I mean, I'm all about that. So,
have you ever watched Dr. Jackson Crawford's YouTube channel? Oh, 10 highly recommend.
Okay, I'll have to give that a watch.
Yeah.
Check that out.
You would like it.
So that turned out to be a great answer. I appreciate you. Next question. Jake, how did you pick your NerdyNortherner Twitch name, and what was the inspiration?
So it's a bit of a story for that one. So I started out on Twitch, I'd say about 5 or 6 years ago. And have you ever heard of Geek and Sundry?
Yes.
Okay. So what I wanted to do with a group of friends was to create something along the lines of Geek and Sundry. And so we came up with the name of Nerdy Northerners with an S, right? And we did this for about 3 or 4 years, trying to get this going. And long story short, it didn't go for a lot of different reasons. And so eventually it came to a point where it was me and a couple handful left, and I kind of decided at that point in time, so I was already primarily the person solo on the stream there, and I'd kind of been the orchestrator of it all. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go solo. I cut off the S and Dirty Northerner.
That's a great story. I love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it's been 2 years since March. It was March 2022 that all kind of changed, and that I went solo on as a streamer, and yeah, so it's been like this ever since.
Awesome.
Wow, that's cool.
And
cool bit of lore.
Really suits too. It's very catchy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we did everything. We did like Dungeon and Dragon streams. Like I'm a dungeon master for D&D, so we did those. We did had like a gaming podcast where we talk gaming news. We had like single, like kind of like a solo streamer stream, but it'd be like different people were appearing. So we had like 20 people that were coming in and out of this idea. And yeah, I mean, just for a lot of different reasons, it didn't work out the way it did, and so went to take a different avenue there, and then moved. I was like, well, no longer Nerdy Northerners, and I was a single plural there now, so cut off the S and stuck with the name.
You're like Phil Collins. He ended up having a better career outside of Genesis.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, right? It's like I wish things could have worked out there, but yeah, it ended up. I was already doing a lot. Like I did, I even did casting. So if you ever tune in for the marbles in the morning, there, right? And you got this person in the late, and oh, you get a yeet and all that kind of stuff. Like I did casting for a game called Star Wars Squadrons, and I was actually running at the time the league, which is called the SCL, or the Squadrons Championship League, and I led that for 3 seasons. And so I was doing casting for that and a bunch of other things, and I guess I was primarily the main one on camera anyway. So I just take it to go solo. So
that's so cool.
It is.
Well, hi King Jake. What D&D class do you consider yourself to be in real life?
What would you think?
I feel like you would be a multi-class.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you'd be a bard, barbarian, maybe.
A barbarian, okay.
Because you're definitely a fantastic entertainer. That's where we get the bard part, right? And then you love Viking culture and stuff. So, of course, a barbarian is also a ragey person, and you're really happy, positive person. So maybe a barbarian doesn't fit. Maybe a paladin.
You got it. It's a paladin. A paladin for me. Actually, there's a game called Neverwinter Nights. You ever hear of it?
Yeah, Starkity and I played that. We loved it.
So Neverwinter Nights 2, I used to role play, and I was a dungeon master on a server in Neverwinter Nights 2 for Baldur's Gate: The Sword Coast Chronicles, and I played a paladin of Lathander, the Morning Lord, and his name is Lance Renson. So yeah, no, paladin. Paladin's my class. Paladin's my D&D class for sure, 100%.
Oh,
it totally suits you.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It's on this same train of thought. This D&D questions. What is your favorite D&D edition, and what is your favorite thing about being a DM?
3.5 for sure. Love 3.5.
Right.
And my favorite thing about being a dungeon master is being able to tell a story. I mean, like you're making a world for the players, and I mean, you're not just making a couple characters up. Like you're making the town and the everything that's involved with the town, who the blacksmith is. You're creating the province. You're creating like the world around them, and I love that. I love that aspect of it, where like you're not just running a story. You are a world builder,
right?
You've created so much, and then the players get to come play in it and have an impact on that. Yeah, that's my favorite thing about a DM.
I love and totally agree with you about your philosophy that you craft the world around the players. I do the same thing myself. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons, a dungeon master since BX said in 1981, and I love having fellow DMs on the show. Sorry, I get ahead of myself.
Oh, you're good. Yeah,
Good.
no, I
Literally, we could talk
Speaking
about
of-
D&D forever.
Yes. Yeah.
we could. You know what? Speaking of too, you know Forgotten Realms, right?
Yes.
Is
So
this
I
a
actually,
special book?
well, I actually have a signed book by Ed Greenwood, who is Alminster the Mage.
That's
And
our
I
next
actually got to
question.
meet-
Actually, we were going to ask
Oh.
you to tell us about your special D&D book.
Let's go transitions.
Dude, should I go get the book too?
Yeah,
you want
sure.
to,
That mean, if it's not
absolutely.
too much
Yes.
trouble.
Let's go. I was like, as soon as he started looking around, I was like, he's looking for the book.
Oh, you know what?
We
It's on my
really
shelf
put
over
that
here
question
already.
at the right spot.
Oh, I'll get that later.
Oh,
But yeah,
wow.
so this is it here. So it's the Forgotten Realms, the campaign setting, and inside here is where I have the autograph from Ed Greenwood. I actually got to meet him at he actually lives just a short while away from me here in Port Hope, Ontario. And I actually got to meet him, and I was part of his play because he was hosting a thing down in his hometown where they were celebrating art, and it happened to be Dungeons and Dragons that they were celebrating. And so I went down there, and I was a voice actor for his play there, and I was playing a fighter. And this whole thing was, it was a short little skit, like it was like an hour and a half of a skit. But there was a group of us up there as voice actors on the stage, and then they had individuals representing us down below that were kind of like acting out the combat. So it's showing how even something like Dungeons and Dragons can have like multiple levels to it, where you've got the voice actors, you've got the actors down in front. So that was really cool. But yeah, I actually got to sit down with him. We had a chat for like 30 minutes, just kind of talking D&D in the middle of the park. Beautiful day out. You know, that was nice. It was really cool.
That's
Oh.
phenomenal. I love those kinds of memories and for people who can share them and tell the story well. Thank you.
Oh, that's so cool.
Okay, my brother from another mother. I kind of feel that way because we have a lot in common.
Oh, yes.
You and I share a philosophy of love, positivity, and encouragement. What experiences in your life led you down this path?
I mean, a lot of it I do have to give credit to my dad, because my dad's very much the same kind of man too on that. He's kind of passed on a lot of those like words of wisdom and and just everything where it's like, you know, like even like sticks and stones may break my bones, names won't hurt me, just like it's stuff like that where it's like it's so simple, but at the same time it's like just you know, anything that's coming at me I can really brush it off. I mean, other things like taking an hour for myself every day. He told me, he's like, you know, every day, Jake, I take an hour for myself every day. Doesn't matter what, you know. So, sure, there's going to be some days where you can't, like life happens, right? But every day, take an hour for yourself to do what you want to do for you. It's not for anybody else. It's for you. It's your time. You want to watch a show for an hour? Watch a show for an hour. You want to play some games for an hour? Play some games. You want to do whatever it is you want to do. So it's just a lot of those things that you know, gave me the you know, I guess gave me the heart and the resilience to face obstacles. And then just life itself. I mean, I've gone up through ups and downs too. 8-year relationship, I had that end. And it's just along the ways, it's like learning that things are going to happen. And the majority of things are outside of my control. I can't have changed the result of it happening to me. I just have to learn how to deal with what has happened. Have what has happened, you know, register it, go through the emotions on it. You know, absolutely got to feel it, right? But it's like, then what's next?
Right.
Like there has to be that next. You know, so I've said it numerous times on my stream too, where it's like I don't have the time. I don't have the time to be angry. I don't have the time to be mad. I don't have the time to sit there and grovel over something. It's like, you know what? It's happened. I have to move on because I have to move on, or I can stay here, which, you know, be stuck in this moment, you know, stuck with this, whatever has happened to me. But, you know, ultimately I have to move forward. I have to get to that next step. Like, what's next? I have to get to that step. I have to do the things to get myself past whatever difficulty I'm facing.
Right.
And I mean, ultimately it's just, like I said to you kind of early before here, where it's like I live by the do unto others as you would have them do unto yourself, right? Like I want kindness and love and generosity and care and compassion being shown my way, so I exude that out.
Right.
And it's like this is why I'm putting this out there into the world, and hopefully it comes back. So
indeed, we got one life with this identity. We got to make the best of the time that we have. And dwelling in darkness doesn't do us any good. So, like you said, be the light in your own life, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and again, I mean, like again, we are what we surround ourselves with too, right? So I mean, if we surround ourselves with negative energy, we're going to have negative energy. So if we surround ourselves with positivity, we'll have that positivity. And I mean, yeah, it's just again, just knowing it's there and reaching for that instead, reaching for the positivity. And there's a podcast that I had watched too, that will clip. And I'm gonna bring this up a lot on my stream there, but it's between Elon Musk and Jim Rogan. And Jim Rogan asked, Elon, what's the secret to life? It's love. Love is the key. If we all just show love and treat each other with love, that's the key to life. That's the secret.
100% agree with you. It is. It's like the binding force of the universe.
Yep, it brings everything together.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh, I love it.
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me. All right. What drew you to Twitch?
What drew me to Twitch?
Yes. Why Twitch?
I've always wanted to be. A bigger figure in my passion, which is gaming. Gaming's been my passion. Before I was on Twitch, I was a game store manager for a decade, and gaming has always been my hobby. But I wanted to be more than a game store manager. I wanted to be more involved. I wanted to be like a bigger figure, and entertainment. I've always like entertaining people. So that's just kind of naturally kind of fit with the two. But it was ever since Twitch was known as Justin TV. I'm not sure if you remember those days. When Twitch
I've heard of those days.
Yeah. So way back in the day, it's just like I want to be there. I want to do that. I want to be able to play games and have a community and do that with live streaming things. So it was COVID. Had an opportunity to slip out of the game store there, and so I did. And then I just really pushed things to try and making this dream of mine, 'cause it's been a dream reality, and so I did.
Oh, I get so cool.
I love it. Reach for the stars. Always go for your dreams.
And I really love being able to do it too, because it's one of those things I can show my girls. I can show my girls that like you can go for your dreams, and chase your dreams, and to not be stuck doing something maybe we don't want to be doing. It's like, no, you can achieve it. It's going to be hard work. It's not easy. You're not just going to snap of a finger, you're going to be able to do it. No, it's hard work, hours of work, hours and hours and hours and hours, and days and weeks and months and years even.
Yep.
But if you don't go towards it, don't push for it, you never know whether you could get it or not.
Like Wayne Gretzky said, 100% of the shots you don't take don't go in.
That's it. You got to throw that puck on net. You never know.
Right?
You never know, right? You never know. Ricocheting off a skate, here's a goal, quickie.
Let's go.
So
Jake, what did family and friends think when you told them that you planned on streaming?
Yeah, my immediate family wasn't like especially my mom and my dad. Bless their souls, but it's like they didn't really understand it at first, and they still don't. They think it's cool what I'm doing, but they don't quite still fully understand it. My sister, my younger sister, she does a little bit of that herself, where she's a nutritionist, and so she does like YouTube videos and such. She was more understanding. But yeah, I think it was always one of those things that was kind of caught people by surprise. But my friends have been very supportive. I think family a little confused on exactly what it is, and they're not really big gamers. My family's never been a really big gamer. Like I was always kind of the standout of my siblings and my mom and my dad, where it's like I love playing games. I'm a gamer, and so there's just that world to them. So people watch you all day and say, yeah. Well, what are people doing with their time?
Hanging out.
Whatever they're going, hanging out, doing whatever they're doing, working, throwing it up in the background there, hanging out with me, spending their day with me, And Yeah, no, so it's been interesting. They're having some conversations there, and even at dinner time, sometimes mom goes, how's hanging out with your friends today on your stream? And it's like, it was good, mom, thanks. It's good. Like, you know, it's just right. It's just like she, like, yeah, I love my mom. She doesn't quite grasp it, doesn't grasp thing. So people will watch you all day long. It's like, oh yeah, they throw me up on their screen, or they're busy working or editing, like Stormy is there, and
Yep.
it's
Exactly. Or cooking in the kitchen, and then
Right.
it's what we do. Just
right, exactly. It's and it's obviously it's a very new thing, right? Like streaming itself and being in this role as a content creator is a relatively new profession. So I mean, even outside of it too, like outside of people, like it's a very curious thing for folks. It's like this is what you do for a living. It's like, oh yeah, it's yep, this is what I do. And
yeah.
so you actually can make a living off of that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yep.
What struggles did you have when you first started streaming?
I mean, I think very similar to many others out there, where it's you're looking at the data, and I mean at the time too, I had in Ontario here we have something known as EI employment insurance, and obviously I've been working for a long time, so I was able to take a year off of work with employment insurance, but that was starting to run dry, and it's like there wasn't a whole lot around. So
Uh-huh.
when I in that March 22, when I decided to go solo and decided to really go for this,
Uh-huh.
every month since that point, I mean, even up to this day, is almost like it's like a do or die. It's like either things go really well and I'm able to do this, or it doesn't, and I got to look elsewhere. And so every month is just a little bit more. I remember at the time there, that March 22, I think my average viewers was like 15 or 20 at the time. And went from 15 to 20 to 20 to 30 to 30 to 40 to 40 to 50. And it was that summer. Again, I'm a very I'm gonna say I'm a gambler, but it's just I will risk. I will risk for that reward. And so it's like, what, that summer I did a partner push, and I think the partner push is like 3 or 4 months. 3 or 4 months just pushing. And I said to myself, then it's like, I'm either gonna get this or I'm not. It's either this will be the push that gets us there or it doesn't. And it did. I ended up getting partner that October. Had to wait a whole month for Twitch to get back to me, and I had everyone saying to me, "Oh, Jake, like, don't worry, don't worry if you get declined first time. Like, majority of everybody gets declined, and I didn't get declined first time. I was the first time application, first time got partner, and I think it's because like it wasn't just like a fluke that got me to there. Like, it was a steady up,
Right.
Yeah, that was kind of I guess the early struggles, but then also leading to where we are now.
Yeah.
So.
On that same note, what tips can you share with future streamers?
Or baby streamers.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this is one that I always say to folks, and the first one is make sure that this is really, really something that you want to do, because your viewers will know too, right?
Yep.
And if you really want to make it a thing, then you've got to put 110% into it, right? Like, it can't be a very casual thing. It can't be like, oh, I'm putting in the last 20% out of my day because I'm gassed from working all day. Well, it's going to come off, right? Like, you've got to come out, you got to give it that 110%. Another thing is, in the very beginning there too, you have to set the standard and tone right from the get-go, right? You might not have anybody even watching, right? You might have like 2, 3, 4, 5 viewers watching, but you have to act like there is 100 people watching, like, you got to keep up that consistency, because that's what will draw people in, right? Is your activity, is you're communicating, is you talking about what you're doing. It's like, oh no, there's this guy chasing me. People will get off. Will like you for that. They'll be attracted to that and that conversation. So yeah, you got to pretend at all times that you got 100 people watching you, kind of deal, and that you're constantly talking, constantly communicating, constantly talking about what you're doing. So it's
great advice. Thank you.
Absolutely. What do you enjoy most? What is your most favorite thing about streaming?
Community, 100%. It's all the friends I've made along the way. That's like that takes the cake. It's like I said, I wake up every morning like so excited to get on and say hi to everybody, say good morning everybody, have them into the chat, for the laughs that we have throughout the day. And I mean, there's some days where I won't even play games. Like we'll look at Discord photos of ourselves for a full day, and that's a stream. Like 7-8 hours of just looking at each other's photos and the villager pictures, being like, "Oh, look at you, you're so beautiful. Hey, look at you, you're so beautiful." And like it's that. It's just a community. Just building a community there, having people find the place is a safe place too. Finding individuals that enjoy being there, that want to make it their home. Yeah, that 110% for me is my favorite thing about streaming. The games, yeah, those are there, but it's the friendships and all the people that make streaming the joy for me.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Can I just really quick just share? So one of the things that happens in my streams is we'll spend the first minimum 30 minutes to an hour of my minimum where we just won't, like the game won't even be on screen. Like you can hear the music in the background, but it's not even going. And everybody's sitting there picking on me, but I'm just sitting here. I'm just like, you guys are too funny. I can't even open up this silly game right now because you guys are just it's really, 100%. I agree. It's the community that really makes it. And your community is fantastic.
Yes.
No, thank you. I say a lot, North fan, best fan. I mean, they're honestly wonderful individuals. And I think it's one of those things that like, I guess even also going back, another bit of advice there for streamers too, but it's like it's like one of those things like your community is a branch off of you, right? So how you represent yourself, how you talk and how you act and how you portray yourself is how your community is going to as well.
Right.
And all the people that join into the community are also going to be fairly like-minded individuals around that ideology.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going for a compassionate place, you're going for a place that likes to have fun, and like I say to my community too, it's like we'll talk about the real stuff too. We celebrate the good times. We're there. We're hype on the good times. We also get real. Like we'll get real there and talk about life itself, and it's all of that together that builds up that community.
Fantastic. All right, so switching gears a little bit here, brother. Who the heck is Rob Swivel?
Rob Swivel, right here, the man, the myth, the legend. This is Rob right here. Yeah. So Rob Swivel's it came around years ago, like right after that March 2022 there, where I would get off screen there to go and get my coffee, and then folks would say, they all hail the chair, and then the name came up, Rob Swivels. And so Rob Swivel's kind of got that connotation there, like the chair holds up the show literally,
Mm-hmm.
and so kind of got an entity of its own there, and we've gone so far as to give like a backstory to Rob. So like Rob was one of my Viking gutters, as I'm being a High King Jake. He was one of my berserker fighters, and Loki tricked him and turned him into a chair. Now Balder came and took Rob's spirit and put it into this chair, and so Rob is always with me. He's always got my back, and so Rob Swivels is the chair, and I love when people find that out for the first time too. Like they'll be up into the channel for months, and it's like, who the fuck is Rob Swivels? Rob's the chair. This is Rob right here, aren't you, Rob? Right?
Yeah.
He doesn't say much. He's a little quiet these days, but no.
Hi, Rob.
I love that he's also like in your Discord.
Oh,
he's one of your moderators in your chat. You're for your auto shout outs and stuff. I love it.
Yeah.
It is fantastic.
I dig it. Super clever.
I really just love how it's like just an inside community joke. And then like again, we've gone so far. Crony was the first one to do one of my moderators, but like he made a backstory, and I thought it was just absolutely hilarious. We got this backstory for this chair, and everyone just they love Rob Swivels. Rob Swivels is definitely a misfigure. Sometimes so I got Streamlabs as my cloud bot that uses Rob Swivels as a name there. Sometimes Streamlabs will interject, and everyone's like, Streamlabs is here. Get back here, Rob. Get back here. Where's Rob? Where's Rob? So,
Where's Rob?
Yeah. And of course, when I leave, Chad always blames Rob for getting them dancing and getting them going, and for all the craziness that happens during my coffee breaks. And
my favorite is when people are like, "I'm here for Rob."
Yeah, I'm here for Rob. I'm not here for you. I'm here for Rob. I'm here for the chair. You know.
Go get some coffee, Jake. We want to see Rob.
It's
Pretty much how it goes. I've been told that straight up. Okay, Jake, we want to see Rob. We want time with Rob. I'm like, fine. I'm gonna get my coffee then. You know, fine.
Yep, 100%. No, those are the jokes I live for.
Mhm.
I live for them.
Speaking of jokes, poor
Fantastic.
Druid, your camera is giving you fits. It's all right. It's all right. Tech issues be teching.
Give all
It's
smack.
fine.
Smack.
Okay, I'll punch it. What is your favorite thing and the least favorite thing that you have streamed?
Ooh, okay. Favorite thing that I've streamed. I find I find that kind of difficult almost to answer. Where it's like I feel like I'm always finding a new favorite thing to stream.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I'd have to say right now it's probably Paleo. It would be my favorite thing to stream. And again, like the reason why I enjoy Paleo the most, if it was a single player game, I like probably would not play Paleo. It would not be a game across my radar. But the thing I love about Paleo, and even once human out to a degree in these other kind of games where they're free to play, but like MMO-ish, is I can play with so many friends at once. You know, like I'm not limited to a small party co-op of 4. I'm not limited to a dedicated community server that can only have 10 people on. You know, there's some nights where on Paleo I can play with 25 friends, and then on the next side, like 30 minutes later, I can have another 20, 25 people if I wanted to. And that's what I love. Like, I just get such a joy out of running around, seeing my friends out there. And it goes all the way back to high school when I used to play World of Warcraft with my buddies. World of Warcraft at lunch in high school. We're at the table during lunch. We're talking about the raid because like there was about 18 or 20 of us that were in the same guild that we didn't even run. It was this other group of like 7 or 8 people that ran the guild, and we were just like their main raiding core. But like during our lunches, we talk about it all the time, and then that night we go into the raid. And I remember one of my buddies, his name's Justin. He was a Draenei Paladin. And so I just remember during the raid seeing the big Draenei Paladin lumbering across the screen there with the big shoulders and the weapon. I'm like, oh, there goes Justin. And it's just, I don't know. It's just, I guess that's why I see it where it's like, oh man, there's my friend. He's running in. And then I had another buddy that was another friend that was a gnome warlock. And similar for him, there's a little gnome warlock around there. And I'm like, oh, there's Eric running around, and just, it's just that, just knowing it's like, hey, there's my friend there, and especially with so many people in the community now that I've seen their faces, I'm able to, when I see their character running around with me, I'm able to see them there with their character, and it's like, oh, there's my friend running around. Don't look at you, and
Yep.
yeah,
I love it.
So yeah, for me right now it's Paleo. Like I really love playing Paleo because again, like one day I'll have like 25 people join in. The next day it's pretty much a whole different 25, and I'm just able to play with so many people. Least favorite thing that I've streamed.
And maybe a game that you are happy you're not going to ever stream again.
My least favorite thing that I stream. That's a tough one. I don't really feel there's anything that, like, for the most part, I'm very particular with the games that I stream. Where like I know that I'm going to enjoy the games I stream.
That's smart.
So I don't know if there's anything that I have streamed that I would say is something that I haven't liked or at least favorite even. Yeah, I mean, that was a little harder for me to answer because again, it's each game's kind of got their own little jazz with it there.
Yeah.
I guess like this is way before time when I was streaming Rocket League and I wasn't very good at it. That'd probably be it. There. I played like some Rocket League on stream. I was like, you know what? Like, nah, I'm not that. No, I'm good. I suck too much at this game. No, I don't want to see this. You don't want to see this here. So.
Man, yeah. I've seen some Rocket League play, and I'm just like, I could never.
Yeah,
I could never.
I would suck at it too, without a doubt. All right, so you've kind of touched on this already, but maybe you can go into a little bit finer detail. Tell us about the moment you felt it was the right time to go full time as a streamer. Maybe the
So yeah,
winds
so
felt.
it was in that period of like I guess February 2022 to March 2022 where um the nerdy northerners idea was kind of was kind of coming to its end, um and I was like, well, like I still want to do this. Is something I've always believed in that I want to do.
Right.
This is a dream of mine to accomplish, so I want to keep going through with this. And that was really it. It was just knowing that this is something I wanted to do. I had an opportunity to do it at that time, um, where again, like I was still on EI. I still had a little bit of money that was coming in from there, so I had a roof over my head for my family, and it's like this is my dream. This is what I want to do.
Mm.
And so I stuck through it, and again, since that point, like every month it's been like, for the most part, it's been like a do or die. So it's like, especially then being in early onset there, it's like this, like this has to work. If it doesn't, then in 6 months from now, like that, I'm going to hang up the hat. And yeah, so it just thankfully, and kept going and going and going, and more viewers came in, and through that more support was shown for me being able to keep doing what I do. And I say it again at the end of my stream, at the end of every stream, where it's like I wouldn't be here if it's not for everyone that watches, for the lurkers and those in the chat to keep the conversation going, and the those in the those with the bits and the subs, like all of that, like it's kept me going this entire time. um and I think too, and this again I've shared a little bit, um, but it's actually that next month that I ended up breaking, that my ex of 8 years and I separated too. So it's in April 22 we separated, and it had been 6 months prior to that she said something to me that, um, in a sense, kind of catapulted me and gave me the drive. And I'm going to use another reel here that I saw. Dana White, UFC president, someone was asking him a question about how he keeps going, and he's like, honestly, it's like when people tell me that I can't do something, or that they want to see me fail, or that they don't want me to achieve something, it's like that gives me the fire. Like, keep telling me I'm going to fail. Tell me I'm going to fail. I'm going to eat that up like breakfast. That is a fuel to my furnace. You don't think I'm going to do something? No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it just to, and not completely, but just to go against that, that negativity you're showing me. You don't think I could do something? Watch, I'm going to do it now.
Right.
And yeah, she had said to me back in that November 2021, as things were with Nerdy Northerners was kind of coming to an end there, and she's like, you should go work in a factory, just quit your streaming dream, go work in a factory. And I'm glad I didn't listen to that, because I wouldn't be here if I did.
Right.
And so that in the March, with everything going on, and then in the April when we separated, it gave me the drive to just keep going, keep going, keep going. And here we are 2.5 years later almost. So
Fantastic. What an awesome
I,
success story.
I just have to say I completely empathize with
Yep.
the you say no. You're telling me I can't do this? I listen. I felt that. And no, it's not out of spite. It's just that, well, I'm just going to do it anyway.
Yeah, right.
But it's not even spiteful. It's just like, well,
Mm-hmm.
Totally get it. All right, so what spawned your idea for the shield wall when you're getting raided? Like when did that start? How did that come about?
So I mean, it's one of those things too, where it's like, I find rating, like when someone, again, I'm a big believer of when something happens, it's not necessarily what has happened, but why it happened, right? And so when someone raids into me, I find that to be a huge thing, where someone has chosen to take their community with me and share it with me,
Right.
and that's that's a big thing. So I wanted something to thank the person for that. So I didn't want to just be like, oh hey, thanks for the raid, thank you, and then move on. I wanted to make it like a show. I wanted to make it like a big thing happening. And so before I would, with my Assassin's Creed, this is my Assassin's Creed blade. If you ever play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, this is what this is from. And so I would have I do a pretend shield wall. I do like this. I'd be like, shield wall. And that was before I had the shield and axe. And then I actually got the shield gifted for me for Christmas from some of my community members.
Oh,
And
community,
Fantastic.
let's go.
yeah, and then the axe came in January for my birthday, and so yeah, I just kind of stuck with that. Especially, of course, having the Vikinger kind of theme to my channel too.
Sure.
Mhm.
It just kind of made sense, shield wall, because those shields up are being raided, and so
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I
I
have-
love it.
yeah.
I have to share it. It's one of the things that you and I. Oh, you're about to say something, dude? Yeah.
I was gonna say we wanted to bring that up because I just thought it was funny. Another correlation.
Yeah, this is something you and I have in common. Years ago, I started doing something similar on my stream. Whenever someone raids in, I have this Imperial-looking raid helmet that I put on, and then I have this Skyrim sword that I pull out, and I knight people as honorary knights of Stormkeep.
Yeah.
And so when I saw you doing your shield wall, I was like, wow. I mean, it's a Viking themed version of what I'm doing, or yeah, exactly. I love that
So
shield.
cool.
For those
awesome.
that haven't seen it, there's a shield wall, so I'll pull this up.
I love the
Okay.
ravens. I have like 2 raven tattoos. Like
Oh, I love that.
So cool.
Yeah,
So
I'm
cool.
sure you felt the same time, Stormy, where it's one of those things where it's like, you want to make the raid special, right?
Right,
Like
exactly.
someone chose to come to you, and so
Mhm.
it's like, I want to make this a big deal. I want you to be excited that you raided in here. I mean,
Yep.
and I'll put out there, it's like there's 100% been times where like I've raided into a channel, and like the response and like the atmosphere back has just been like, it's one of those things. Just like I will never raid you again.
Yeah, I've experienced
And-
that too. I know she has too.
and-
Yeah.
I've rated, so that's why it's one of those things. Like I want folks that will hopefully, it's like, hey, when you come to my channel with a raid there, it's like, oh, this is cool. Like I want to come back here again. Like huge recognition.
Yeah.
I'm always thanking them. I spend the first like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, like talking about the person, what they did, shouting them out, and then I'll okay, yes, now you hear, folks. I'll explain who I am, but yeah, so I want to make a big deal about it. I'm sure you felt the same there, Stormy, where you wanted to make something special, unique for you, right?
Exactly.
Yep. I just scream at people.
She does. Okay, Jake. How did being a manager of a video game movie rental store impact your video game tastes?
How did it impact my tastes? I'd say that it actually gave me the chance to be a lot more diverse with my tastes and try and know a lot more games. I work for a gaming store that also had like a rental section too, so I could just instead of having to buy the game, I could just take the game home and try it out there. And so it gave me a chance to try a lot of different games, where games that I might not have actually ever tried and got out into had I had to purchase the game originally, or even just being around the hype and understanding the trailers and the knowledge on a game. Again, like kind of like the insider information from beforehand. Like I went down to E3 before. Like I've been to E3 before. That was shuttered down. I went down to E3 in 2013, and being able to do that and be there and the atmosphere and understand like the behind the scenes of things. Yeah, it definitely gave me more of a breadth of the different types of genres out there and the different games out there. And so I was a lot more willing to give them a try as opposed to sticking to like what I knew I liked, and trying out different stuff that I would not have normally tried if I didn't have that chance. And so yeah, it's just like different releases and the hype around them. Sometimes I'm seeing the midnight launches for games. Like, okay, maybe I'll pick those. This one seems pretty hype, so.
Oh yeah.
And one more thing, sorry, too,
Yeah,
on that.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
going to say,
Yeah.
too, where it was like conversations with the folks, too, that were buying the games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where, because I established relationships, too, with the people that would come in and buy the games, and they go, hey, Jake, you should check with this game. And like, oh, I don't know, is that game really something for me? And it's like, listen, it's good. And I was like, okay. So, yeah, hearing the games that they liked and seeing that all, again, which games they were picking up and being recommended, and all of it played a really big role.
I love it.
Yep.
I didn't realize I had this question. Jake, when do you think the Maple Leafs are gonna finally rise back to the top?
Not in my lifetime. Oh, I mean, like, geez. I actually even said it at the beginning of last season or the end of last season, not this past, the one before that. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with the Leafs. I'm gonna be a Seattle Kraken fan. Screw the Leafs. 2 months later, go Leafs, go. So I mean, I think it's one of those things. I'll always be a Leafs fan.
Yeah.
When do I think they're gonna win? That's anyone's guess. I mean, it's if they ever do again. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But on that, and I've said this before again too. It's like here's what blows my mind. When you're looking at all of it, here's what blows my mind is that if I was a player in the NHL, okay, I would do anything that I could to win on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Because if you're on the Toronto Maple Leafs team that finally breaks the curse, you are a god. Okay? They will name downtown sections after you. Highways your name will be immortalized forever. You don't even have to have been that great of a player. You could have been like the third line defenseman who never saw ice time. They're going to name stuff after you. You're settled. You wouldn't even have to play another season of HL in your life. You're good to go. You can just retire. You'll have endorsements. Oh, this guy played for the Leafs that won the cup so long ago. And I mean, that's what I mean. I don't know. That's the part that sits me there. It's like, if I was in the league, I would be given anything to be on that team that finally wins, because when they do, it's you're talking about Hockey Century. You're talking about the capital of hockey, right. Toronto in Canada, right? I mean, you can't get any bigger than that, and I mean, it's this thing there too, where there are people that are playing on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, it's been said many times before that that there's this media just intensity. The media coverage in Toronto is like no other. I mean, it's huge. It's just it's the capital of hockey. Is Toronto, Canada. Maybe this year. I don't know. I've already got my tickets for the parade, so we'll see.
We also heard that you're a hockey player, right? How long did you play hockey for?
I played hockey for 22 years on and off.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah. I love hockey. Hockey's a fun sport. I'm not the greatest at it. I mean, I'm okay. I can skate the puck and shoot and dangle and do that, but I mean, it's not anywhere near pro. And I just like playing a game.
Yeah.
And I actually 100%. Wanted to get back into hockey last summer, and I haven't been playing hockey for the last 2 years because I ended up dislocating my knee last January in 2023. Ouch. And now the thing that kills me on this is I ended up dislocating my knee public skating with my daughters. Not even playing hockey. I took my daughters public skating. And that is how I ended up dislocating my knee, because I was pretending to play hockey.
The irony is thick.
My worst injury too. I played football for 5 years, like American football. I've played basketball on team. I've played hockey. I've played frisbee football. I played goalie in soccer for 5 years. I mean, I had a lot of opportunity to get hurt. Nothing. Mm-hmm. No, it's public skating with my daughters. That's when I blow up my knee. So,
speaking of your daughters, what's your favorite thing about being a dad?
So, again, it's another one of those things that I brought up before, because it's a reel that really stuck out to me too. But it's exactly my feelings on it, where it's like, what's the best thing about being a parent? Well, watching your kids grow up. What's the worst thing about being a parent? Watching your kids grow up. And yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, like I haven't seen. And some out there already know, because I mentioned this before. But I know my two daughters. Talia is my stepdaughter. I came into her life when she was about 1.5 years. I still treat her as my daughter and such. With Ari, I was able to be there from the beginning. And so, I mean, seeing Ari in those little baby stages to 1 year and 2 years and 3 years and 4 years, and watching Talia grow from the 1.5-year-old toddler there to, the young teen that she is, seeing their journey and their brain processes and them growing and becoming a bigger person. It's magic. It's magic.
Magic.
It's also sad too. We're just like, you remember them when they're so little. Like I
Mhm.
remember having my Aria. She put her head right here, and her body would be here, and I could sit and watch TV like just like this. Just like this, and I can't do that anymore. But
Oh no.
Oh, it's both
yeah.
heartwarming and heartbreaking.
That's it. That's why that thing stuck out to me there when I saw
Mhm.
that. Like, it's like, again, what's the best thing and the worst thing about being a parent? It's watching the kids grow up. It's a blessing and a curse, because
Yeah.
you want to see them grow up and you love them growing older, but at the same time, it hurts and it's sad because they're growing up and they're not your little kids anymore. They're not little anymore. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
yeah.
I love kids. I don't have kids. I love kids though. They're so fun.
Yeah, you know what? They're the purest form of joy. I mean, they're so natural in their
Mhm.
happiness. It's the little things that make them absolutely so happy.
Yeah.
And yeah,
They get excited. Sorry, go ahead.
no,
No, go ahead,
you're good.
Druid. It's okay.
Oh, I was just gonna say they get excited with me when I find a cool pine cone or a rock.
Oh yeah,
You
right.
know?
Just like the simplest of things brings them the utmost joy. You
Yeah.
know, and
Oh yeah.
I love that beauty in it. Just the beauty of that. Just it's so simplistic, but it makes their world. And yeah.
On that note, I want to thank and acknowledge you for being such a great dad and for caring about being such a great dad.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I
You're
appreciate that a
welcome.
lot.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love my
100%.
girls. I love my girls. Like my youngest Aria, I still remember the one day she said to me, she's like, Dad, I need to tell you a secret, but you can't tell Mom. And I said, okay. Like, what's going on? She's like, I'm a daddy's girl. And I'm like, I know, sweetheart. I know. See,
It's
I
not
know.
a secret. That's not a
Ain't a
secret.
secret, sweetheart. Ain't a secret there. I know you're a dad. So she's like, okay, but you can't tell Mom because, like, okay. But yeah,
That's so sweet.
I
and
love
hilarious.
my girls. If there's one thing that I feel I was destined to be in life, it's a parent. It's just I get such a joy and a high off of it, and it's my vibe. It's my vibe. It's what I was always meant to do.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Um, sorry, I was late to hitting a button. All right, we're getting down to the last 3 questions of our crafted questions that we got going on. These are more fun little wind down questions, but that also gives chat the opportunity to take the time to hit these buttons. Hold on, I have a public service announcement. Chat, you know the drill. You know what I have to say. You go hit all these buttons and go do all the things. And you might as well just do it now. Get it done. Because I would hate to have to ask you in a week and ask you if you'd actually hit the buttons. I would hate, and you go, I forgot. You should just do it right now.
I'm going to interrupt Druid
They're
a
in
little
chat.
bit here. As the king of Stormkeep, I want to call to arms. So our good man
28.
here, Nerdy Northerner, is technically like, I think he said 29 away from 10,000. So the call to arms,
Get him there.
everybody in Stormkeep and every circle around Stormkeep, all of our friends, please get him to 10,000. Pop over there, drop the follow, check out his content, and for sure, give him the biddies and the subs because he's the kind of people we got to keep on Twitch.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Get her done. He also has some of the most fantastic emotes I've seen on Twitch.
True.
So just go get it done. Get it done now. Do it now before we're done here. And if you're not convinced, here is some booty shakes for you. So there we go.
Molded and crafted there. That booty. That's a sporty booty right there.
Doing them squats. I've been waiting. Okay. We have figured out my chat is prefers butts. So, that should work. Okay. Convincing
There's something
the
about
people.
a nice ass, it's just
Nobody can deny that.
True.
If you deny it, you're a liar.
right.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love you guys. All right. Jake, what is the weirdest sleeping dream you've ever had that you're willing to talk about?
Oh, I mean, a recurring dream that I've had numerous times is this like post-apocalyptic dream where I'm in this like station that is beside one of those like large, those tunnels, like sewer tunnels,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, it's just like a massive sewer tunnel, and I'm at this like refinery or station right beside it, and we're having to deal with a group of raiders that are coming out of this tunnel, and to me it's just weird 'cause I keep having the same dream over and over again. That's the weird part to me. It's like it's almost like I had the dream and it's either like a different like a few different things happen compared to the dream where it's like maybe we take somebody and we we're questioning them or we're going out hunting, but it's like it's always surrounding this station.
Mhm.
And so that's what I find the weird thing. It's just why this same recurring this recurring dream of me being beside this and I mean, like when I talk about like a massive tunnel, like it's like 200 feet wide and 200 feet tall. Like it's
Wow.
just it's unfathomably huge. And it's like what's
Yeah.
even like what's going to fit through that like other than a boat, like a massive, like
Yeah.
so that's definitely been something where it's like I don't know, just why I keep going back there.
Mhm.
Love it. I think you're our first post-apocalyptic dream.
Yeah, must be all the survival games I play. I don't know.
All right. Next question, Jake. If you could be any superhero, which one would you choose and why?
If I could be any superhero, which one would I choose and why? Um, I'd probably go with Batman. I really like Batman's my favorite superhero, and I think the thing with Batman that I enjoy is the human aspect of things. Like he's a human that has like through his workouts and stuff like gained martial prowess, but he's not blessed by anything. It's his own skills and gadgets that are doing the work, and I think that brings to him. And it's the reason why Batman doesn't kill. That's the whole thing. It's like, he, like, I think he kind of sees himself alongside humanity there, and knows he's one, and what it means to take a life. Whereas like some other superheroes, sometimes they can just have this unlimited power. And they're just like, yeah, no problem. Bing! Just
Yep.
Yeah, and he's
Fantastic answer.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, he's a great detective too, which is really cool. I love that about Batman.
Yeah.
All right, this last question. Go ahead.
So this is a either or. Okay, if you pick one, the other one disappears forever. Poutine or ketchup chips?
Oh, poutine. I'm keeping poutine, but like ketchup chips, they can go away. Poutine, no, poutine, staying with me, done, easy. Easy.
We're like Canadian food.
Yeah.
What's Canadian? I've always wanted to try ketchup chips, but
they're good. Don't get me wrong, they're good, but there is almost no food except for ribs. I love ribs. There's almost no food that can beat French fries, gravy, and proper cheese curds. Oh, just all of that together. I mean, it's one of those things when you're having poutine, you're looking down at your plate and you're realizing like this could be the one that takes you out. But you are like happily acknowledging that and just like, you know what? If this is the way I go, I understand, and I'm going to enjoy this on the way out.
That's awesome.
I'm living with my decisions and I'm okay with it. Okay, I need to try it then.
There's a poutine place around here called Smoke's Poutineery. And one of my favorite ones to get there is a bacon cheeseburger poutine. So not only do you have the French fries and the cheese curds and the gravy, but you're adding on top of that beef crumble, you're adding on top of that bacon crumble, and on top of that, you're adding another layer of cheese. Woo! Oh, let me tell you. That's the one there. You're going to order it, and you're like, oh, this is my last meal. It's a good one.
That speaks to my American soul right there.
Right.
As somebody who's like happy with dying eating In-N-Out burger.
Right.
Okay with that.
You're like, you know what? I am accepting of my fate here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yup.
this is a point of the interview where we switch over to questions from our audience. In the meantime, guys, like we said before, there's all his socials that Drew had shared. Help support this amazing human being. And let's see what questions. So we have a few extra questions for fun to get things started. If people are having trouble thinking of questions.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said, if you have any questions of us, feel free to chime in. I'm going to start off with what inspired your passion for survival crafting games?
I think for that it was really coming to terms with the kind of games that I enjoyed, which was open world games. That I love open world games. I also love games that I get to build and design stuff in. So the games that I got to build a home, like Sims, is my guilty pleasure of a game. I love playing The Sims because I can go and design my home and do all that. The actual gameplay, I really didn't play too much of The Sims.
Yeah.
But the design a home and like just doing all that, I love that. So being able to do that in game. And then having that be like a core element where here you got to build yourself a structure, you got to build yourself something to live in. You got to go and you got to chop down trees. You got to go and gather stone. JJ there, JJ knows more stone is needed, sire. More stone is needed, right? But it's just finding that joy and realizing like these are the kind of games that I really like to play. I like building, I like decorating. I also like to kill creatures. I also like to explore this massive world and feel that it's like I think it kind of got me on those lines of like those big open worlds with Skyrim back in the day when it's like you saw that mountain, High Hrothgar, and you're like I can go over to that mountain and you just run your way over there and you go up the mountain. It's like I made it on top of this mountain. Look at that, and yeah. So I mean, I'm a huge fan of Skyrim too. Like I still have my Xbox 360 collector's edition of Skyrim. Yeah,
I have a Skyrim tattoo.
Wonderful.
So that was it there for survival games.
I love
Again,
it.
just knowing it's like these are the kind of games that I love to play.
I'm gonna skip one and I'm gonna actually go to I'm gonna go to this one. Why are you bullying bees on stream? And please tell us about how you had to fight a bee on stream. What happened?
So listen. I'm not the biggest fan of bees because the fact that they can sting me. And it was a wasp for clarifications. Okay, it was a wasp. And what had happened is, and I still really don't quite understand, but my window here, I think, has like a hole in it or something, or like the bee somehow got inside the building, right? Like the walls. And so I was sitting there streaming the one day, and all of a sudden I look up at my light and I see a fucking wasp on it. And it's like, I need to get rid of this thing. I don't like wasps. I don't like the fact that I can get stung. It's like nope. I don't like bugs very much. And so it was immediate. It was an immediate thing where I had to go, and it's like this thing has to die. So so I went and grabbed my vacuum because I can suck up the bee in that thing. And so I was sitting there, and there's a clip of me doing it too, where it's like I'm like trying to like get this bee with my vacuum, and boom, so. And then the thing is though is that it kept happening like time and time again. I think it happened like 5 or 6 times. Wasps, and it's like it's either the same wasp where I've got a problem I got to fix over here. So
wild. Well, yeah. I've been stung by a wasp before, so I get why you don't like them.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to. You have it clipped? Yeah, you do, Zach. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I've had so many bees and wasps just land on me, and I've never been stung. It is the weirdest thing. I don't know what it is, but they just like they'll fly up to me and they'll just be like, hang out, and I'm just like, can you just not? And then they fly away. Like, I don't know what it is, but it just happens all of the time to me. It is
And
the
you're far
weirdest thing.
braver, far braver. I'm hands flailing, like, no, get off me, no, get off.
Druid,
No.
What it is?
it's because you're a druid.
I think that's it. They must know. They must know. So she is one with us. She's
Yes.
one with the ways.
One with nature.
The animals and the plants love her. All right. Banana Tom asks, what was the first game you ever played and what system was it on?
Super Nintendo, and it would have been from my memory recollection, it would have been Donkey Kong Country.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the cart where you're like, there's only one area that I remember my stepsisters playing, and they're like having to like, they're in like a little mine cart and they're like hopping from like little, I don't know.
It's one of the three. Yeah. Which one? I mean, I haven't even gone back and played them in so long. But
I
yeah,
don't even know. I just
it isn't
remember
one
seeing
of those.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but that and yeah, so I went from SNES to N64. So then it was games like Super Mario 64, Star Fox. And also at the same time, they also started getting on PC to play StarCraft, which I love StarCraft.
Mm-hmm.
StarCraft's been like a long time game. I've always loved playing StarCraft. So yeah, that was that beginning transcendence into becoming the ultimate gamer.
The ultimate gamer. Alex Zandria asks, being a Viking enthusiast, are you bothered by the inaccurate depictions of horny helmets in historical films and games, not including fantasy films and games?
I wouldn't say I'm really bothered by it because I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like I don't have the time to be angry or mad about things, right? I mean, like if someone wants to depict something that's not true, just say it's not true and that's it, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a falsehood that they didn't have angelic wings off their helmets or anything like that. Like that's just not what they had at the time. I do like the fancy kind of element to it, though. Like it is kind of cool to me to see that a little bit depicted, though.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say I'm bothered by it at all. No, I wouldn't say that it's something that's like, gets me upset or anything. Obviously, again, if it's a historically accurate piece of media, then I would point up being like, well, it's not historically accurate, but it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I really quick?
What?
So I live in a Scandinavian inspired town where I live. And in the center of town, we actually have a historically inaccurate depiction of a Viking in the middle of town. And I find it ironic because it's, and I just feel the need to share that.
Yeah.
So even in my Viking inspired town, there's a historically inaccurate Viking in the middle of town.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. It's a flavor thing, right? It's a flavor thing. You're adding on there, and sure, it looks cool and such, but I think it's more, maybe like a glorified, reenactment or glorified monument, to showcase it, back, to relate back to that time. But yeah, it's definitely a little ironic there. Would be like, Viking kind of town there, and you've got a historically inaccurate piece in the center. But hey,
Yeah, it is what it is.
I have a fun question here for you. If you can, share the most embarrassing thing that has happened to you on stream that you're comfortable sharing.
This embarrassing thing that's happening on stream is probably the bee. Because like the bee just rocked me. Just like it's almost like I really don't like the bee, like the wasp. But it's like no, that all of a sudden came on. It's like, oh, how am I going to do with this? This thing has to die. This thing has to die. Like I cannot continue on with this. This has to die. It was just like I hit the pause button and trying to get rid of this thing, So yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, I'd say it was the bee. I mean, I can't really think of anything else embarrassing there. I mean, like me having to take down a wasp with the bee with my vacuum. That was, I mean, that to me definitely was
I can see that as
embarrassing.
yeah. I got you.
Bring my vacuum on stream, and here I am, like
he was doing battle with the beast.
But I got it. Dropping your full address there. Oh, there's that too. I mean, I have done that before. I mean, yeah, I've totally. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Light binder.
yeah,
There's that
that's
too.
doxing yourself. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I dox myself pretty on the regular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not to make. Oh, there's that too. Yes, like Espresso says there. Like, well, I had my daughters do my. I don't know if I would call that embarrassing though. You know, because I think that's part of it. Where I did have my daughters do my makeup on stream,
I
and I
feel like.
looked.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, I looked like the most beautiful high queen there was in all the lands.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I for my my 500 followers, I or was it 250? I don't remember. Some milestone. My chat talked me into doing a maid cosplay. So
it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Ooh, there you go, maid.
Yep. He said it, and we made it happen. Okay, that's it. He was like, "Yeah, I'll do a maid if these things are hit," and we're like, "Bet."
I think it was the Soulade who came up with the idea of me doing a maid cosplay. I don't think I made it up, but
but you know what? We support it.
Yeah. So it looks like Never Tilted has a question.
Yep. Never Tilted, my spiritual twin asks, if you had to choose to have a game created specifically for you, what genre would it be?
Survival crafter, a survival crafter MMO. Honestly, a game like PAX Die has always kind of. So I've also went and I'd gone and like kind of wrote out a game idea in my head, and there's two, but the one I'll share because it's more along the lines of what PAX Die is kind of aimed to be, but it's like everything's player ran. Like there is no like there's not a whole lot of NPC structure. Like everything's player ran, and a little bit of RuneScape thrown in there with all the different skills. Survivor crafter element. You know, you got to hunt down your food. I like games that have difficulty to them, and not necessarily, you know, in like a boss killing kind of way, but in like you having to survive in this world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to go out and you have to hunt your food. You have to go and you have to plant your food. You have to go and build a shelter and rise up from there and do trading and see. It'd be something along those lines, like a survival crafter MMO that is very player driven and I mean like to the point of like player cities. Like, you know, you've got a player city and like people are elected officials. Like there's an elected king or queen and like you've got a captain of the guard and you've got like all the like it's all player ran. Like the whole machine runs based off of players performing their roles as opposed to like NPCs being the one to fulfill that. So that would be like my dream game. That I could play.
Yeah, I was gonna say, take notes, Never Tilted. I swear to God, you better be taking notes.
I have a D&D question for you. What tell us about your favorite PC that you've created, that you've played, and your favorite NPC that you used in a campaign.
I've never actually really been a PC. The only time I've been a PC, and I'll bring this one up, is for Neverwinter Nights when I played and roleplayed there. And that'd be my Paladin, Lance Renslin.
Right.
It's one of those things like everyone thinks of a Paladin as being very stuck up and very like, you know, stick up the rear and like, law. And it's like, well, yes, like there are those Paladins out there too, but my Paladin being of the Morin Lord Lathander in the Forgotten Realms deities, I found that gave him a lot more freedom towards other things. Like he was a big believer on like second chances. So like someone that was a criminal, like he wasn't necessarily just gonna like yes, he would smite you down if you were misbehaving. You didn't come with him. He's like, hey, you've got a chance. You either come with me, jail. You have a chance to be redeemed, or I smite you down here. Like, what's your choice? You know. My Paladin also sang, so he had a guitar and like, you know, didn't have any bard skills, but like I just had that being a role play piece, you know. And George Canyon's song "Sunshine" was one that I had my Paladin sing out there.
Nice.
And just yeah, it was just fun. It was just fun being a Paladin that, you know, that didn't have to come off as being, you know, like angry or like all about the law and all about, such like that. Like he was able to just be a very, very personable person, that he was
Yeah.
understanding, believed in second chances, believed in, you know, um, the next day, like in the dawn, beauty reigns in the ways ever clear. One of Lathander's sayings. Um, so just, just always, I don't know, just it was just a lot of fun, super positive. He was also known as the Dancing Knight. He danced.
Cool.
And yeah, so I mean, like I took a lot of things that I feel like paladins kind of get knocked against, and as I was able to kind of go against that with my paladins. So that was a lot of fun for my PC. My favorite NPC, um, I forget her name right now. I think it was Elise, but I had this rogue NPC that I had accompanying my party, and she was kind of like she would relay the information to them, along the ways and kind of be there for them to answer any questions, kind of deal. But she was like a neutral evil rogue, and it's also a rogue that I've sometimes loosely played. But the thing I liked about playing her was just, it was very opposite my paladin, where she was like, I give no shits. It's either you're gonna do what it's either gonna go this way or it's gonna go, my way or kind of no way.
Mm-hmm.
And just she was just a super strong character. It was fun to play though because you had like the little quirps and the a little bit of back talk there, but yeah, she was just a lot of fun to play with the characters, and then having them like chat with her around like the campfires or in caravan rides or whatever it is. It's just a lot of fun to have that portrayal of somebody that like she was there to assist the party, but was she really assisting the party? Was she there for her own advances, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so it's kind of fun having the party kind of check that as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I was fun. I really like that character. That was my favorite NPC I've had.
Those sound
I love
awesome.
that.
I'm honored and grateful that you shared those with us.
Mhm.
And I agree with you on the paladin thing. I think that I've never been a big fan of the stereotype that people kind of latch onto with paladins. I think there's a wide variety of ways to play paladins, from
Mhm.
noble knights to
Little.
maybe like a holy compassionate kind of, they're not always a crusader. There's lots
Yeah.
of
Oh yeah.
ways that you can play them where, yes, they adhere to a code making them lawful, but they're also good, meaning they try and do the best possible good around them, and with compassion or whatever. Yeah, I agree.
And on top of that too, I think that another thing that folks I find, paladins, they almost think of them as being non-human. And so my paladin had flaws. Like he smoked cigars, and he would drink ale occasionally.
Hmm.
And I even had like people reach out to me in DMs and be like, paladins aren't supposed to consume cigars. And it's like, tell me where, show me where. Show
That's
me where in any guide or anything that a paladin can't do this. You
agreed.
know,
Yeah,
of course they can. There's nothing that says they can't. And so I think it's important to have your characters have flaws. You know, and I think that it was especially important as a paladin, again, of the Morn Lord too, where it's like very human. Like he related with so many people. Like he ended up becoming the regional like leader of the Paladin Guild.
hmm
Um, I ended up becoming a recognized citizen of an elven settlement called Duranamar, which was like the big player around elven settlement. So he was like friends with the elves, like top tier friend with the elves. Um, he was the leader of the paladins. There's really nobody that didn't like him, and the only people that didn't like him were the ones that, well, were causing problems.
right,
Like
right.
because like he could, like, again, like it was just so cool because he could rally just like so many people to his side
Mm-hmm.
because he was friends with everybody. He was just a friendly paladin, and like
Yeah.
there's not many other paladins that were like that.
Mm-hmm.
And other paladins are always like, oh, you're so, like, again, like they don't know stereotypical role play of a paladin. You got to be mean and gruff, and it's like, um, it's one of those things too where it's like, even as a paladin, it's like sometimes the enemy of my enemy is my ally, and you have to kind of even recognize that, where it's like, yes, I know you do bad things, but right now we got a bigger problem to solve over here. I'll deal with you later, or we're gonna deal with this right now.
Yeah, I'm playing for a little one shot that we're doing over on Jotun Red Wolf's channel. I'm playing a fairy Oath of the Ancients paladin. And I mean, she's pretty cool.
Yep.
And you know, I think too, because I'm so new to D&D in general, I don't live by like they have to be this way ever, blah blah blah, because I'm just like, I'm playing a character that happens to be a paladin and has this vibe going on.
Yep.
And so I'm thankful that I'm not stuck in that like has to be lawful mindset, because I'm just, is it a character that has stuff?
Right.
Cool.
Absolutely. And I have, my philosophy is very similar to yours on as a DM. I feel like it's open. It's a collaborative effort. We're there to have fun together, and I like giving my players as many options as they want, and to be creative with their characters, their backstories, their personalities, their motivations, and even their tactics. You know, it's agreed.
I love it. Alex Zandria asks, being a Geek and Sundry fan, do you spice?
So I seen that up there. So the thing is with Geek and Sundry, right, is that I actually didn't really watch a whole lot of it. It was like it wasn't necessarily that I was a fan of Geek and Sundry. It was that I really like what they were, you know, and I liked that it was. I liked the company, what it was, you know, and like how it was like a geek network, you know. It was like, and so that's what I wanted to build. I wanted to build something similar where it was like a geek network where it's like at any point in time someone can stop by this channel and there's something nerdy, geeky going on. Like I love that. I love that idea of it. And so yeah, unfortunately I don't know the reference there, Alice. I unfortunately don't know the reference there. But
I also don't.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So we're getting close to the end of the interview, and I know you have some stuff to do tonight. So we'll get close to it. Looks like Starkity asks, is there a character class that you would like to see come to D&D that doesn't already exist?
Character class.
Like a concept, I guess.
See, I say not, no, not really, because I find that as it is, or they're already. See, I find when you look at a class, right, it's more like it's maybe like an overarching background, but it's not like the be all end all, right?
Right.
Like you can have a rogue that is, you know, not your typical daggers rogue that's always sneaking around all the time, right? Like you can have, especially with the multi-classing, kind of really branching out there into different style of characters. And so I wouldn't say there's anything really that's like that I feel that needs to be a class that's not already a class, as opposed to like a lot of it I feel that just through multi-classing you can make that. I mean yeah, I feel like they've done a really good job at trying to grasp like again, like more of like the basics, and then through like also again customize your character out through that. Again, the multi-classing and the weapon choices and the armor choices and
right.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, there is one, and it has to go back to 3.5. Okay, and I will die on this hill. Okay, I will die on this hill.
Okay.
Well,
all right. See, I really don't like what they did with the Paladin class in 5th edition, where the Paladin class, instead of being this holy fighter, right, was turned into a religious fighter, right?
Right.
And in 3.5, they had a class known as the Blackguard, as a prestige class. I would like to see them come up with an evil version of a Paladin and have that as a class, as opposed to taking the paladin class and then allowing a paladin fall. Like a paladin falling, they lost all power. That's the whole thing. It's like they were a holy, they were a holy fighter,
Right.
and it's like, yes, that can exist like a dark version of a paladin, but it's not a paladin. At least to me, again, and I will die on this hill. But it's just like I feel that the paladin was just such a special character, right? And it was again, like with everything that comes with the paladin, again, being a holy fighter. Yeah, you are lawful, you are good. You have to abide by these things to play that class.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be a vengeful paladin because vengeance is not in the paladin's code. It's not part of it. But and if you want to be a vengeful paladin type, well, there's a fighter. You can be a vengeful fighter all you want. But I find that the paladin class was just a really special thing.
Yeah.
And it was its own specialness. And then what they did with 5th, where they added it in so that you could be like a fallen paladin or like a vengeful paladin. It's like, but this just goes so against what paladins were. And like Radatash says there, kind of like what Necromancer used the wizard with the other side of the coin, exactly, where it's like, it's like, to me, it's like Necromancy itself should be its own entire field there. Because I think it puts a stain on wizards. Wizards are arcane, Anyway, so yeah, I would say something like a Blackguard or like an anti-paladin or like some just like a class that could be just that opposite of a paladin, right?
Okay, I
right.
like it.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying there, brother. 100%. And I think it would be interesting to see 5th Ed have a character like that.
Like Alex says, they're like a Sith or Jedi, right? It's like like you're not just saying they're a dark Jedi. It's like, no, like they are different. It's like they are Sith and that is Jedi, right? And yeah, so yeah, just having that opposite as opposed to it just being like, oh well, it's the same class, just we're changing elements of what it used to be this class. And it's like, well, no, fallen paladin, like you are a fallen paladin. You are nothing more than a fighter now, unless a dark deity picks you up and is like, you are now my champion. So yeah. I would rather see. I'd like to see something like that as opposed to what they did with the paladin in 5th edition. And it's honestly part of why I haven't gone to 5th edition. It's because I don't like what they did with paladins. I just it runs me so raw being a paladin player.
Yeah.
And again, obviously, everyone's entitled to their own.
Absolutely.
For me, it's just because I care so much about paladins. It's my favorite class, and just I would like to see like a Blackguard being a base class you can come out or something similar right off the gate. That you can be that anti-paladin, that evil, powerful, blessed fighter for their deity,
right?
And whatever comes with that. So.
You and I also have in common that for 3.5 is also my favorite edition. I do also play 5th Ed, obviously, on our Saturday campaigns on the stream. I like 5th Ed for different reasons. Although, again, I do agree with you. I'm not a big fan of 5th Ed Paladins. But there's something about 3.5. I still play with an off-stream local group on Sundays, 3.5. And there's something really amazing about the granularity of 3.5 and the amount of detail there is and how it's even more customizable that I really dig. But for 5th Ed, I like for different reasons. I think they did a pretty darn good job of with it. But I agree with you. 3.5 is the pinnacle.
I found 3.5 was very customizable, as you said there, right? And it's just like it's one of those things like it was overly difficult to understand and really get into. Like it wasn't as simple as 5th edition. 5th edition they simplified it very much so people can get involved. But there's beauty in complexity I found with 3.5 is where 3.5 was so deep.
Yeah.
And you had all the prestige classes, which again, like I guess in 5th edition they have those as like paths you can take in the game or something. Like 3rd or 4th level you choose a path, and like that was like kind of your prestige classes.
Subclass. Yeah.
Subclass, yeah. And just one thing too about the D&D, kind of like a death knight, would kind of be like the class I'd like to see for like, like
yes,
like a death knight, like the World of Warcraft death knight, taking that concept where it's like, even like a summoner, like even like half necromancer, or like half mage, half fighter, turning into like you're raising an undead minion and you're charging into battle there, and just stuff like that, where it's like that to me would be like the class that I would have loved to have seen introduced to like counter the paladin and like what the paladin brings, but like a death knight,
Yeah, I love it. All right, well, that's all the questions for tonight. Would you like to share one final message with our viewers about you and your stream?
Well, I mean, I guess I always love folks stopping by, and again, it's one of those things. And like NordFan's best fam, I really believe in the community aspect of things. I believe that the community is what makes this all worth it in the end.
Indeed.
It's the friendships you made along the way, the memories that you made along the way, and yeah, just finding a family, finding people that you can hang out with every day and spend your time with, because time we never get back, and I'm thankful for the people I found to spend my time with.
Indeed. Well said. That's so beautiful. Thank you
so
so
good.
much for being on the show. It's been an honor and a treat.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you both very much for the invite there, and yeah, it's been a great time. So thank you for having me.
Bet.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Druid, I'm kind of bittersweet. I'm sad that it came to an end. I was having so much fun. He is so amazing, guys. You need to support Nerdy Northerner. We need to get him so that he is like, it's his career. Like, his dream is wonderful, and I want to help support it. And he's the kind of human being that the world needs more of. Absolutely.
He has our sword here at Stormkeep.
That's right. Wow. We have next week is pretty incredible too. Share with the audience who's coming on again next week.
We got Tarkonix, baby. He's coming back. Round 2 with Tark, 2 p.m. Central next week.
Doing the special return guest episode where we ask different kinds of questions, get a little bit deeper and stuff. It's going to be a treat. I'm looking forward to it. 2 p.m. Central Time. And of course, don't forget tomorrow, 3:30 Central Time, the Dragon Metal Saga homebrew campaign. Come check us out, guys. Can't wait to see you all. And for all the folks that came along with Nerdy Northerner and dropped follows here, I appreciate you so much. And please drop follows for Druid. Her link is in chat. She needs support too. She's my partner, and Bandwidth and Banter wouldn't be Bandwidth and Banter without her. So,
listen, appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right.
I can't say no.
Yep. You're ready to wrap this up, Druid?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for coming to the show.
Please drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below.
And if you're listening to the podcast,
please rate and review the episode.
We are Bandwidth
and Banter.
Thank you.
And good night.